This is Niger Live TV. We bring you news.
There is a mass movement
against women in politics. Inclusive, participatory, and secured elections will boost women's participation in politics. Introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the preliminary findings of violence against women ahead of the 2019 Bayelsa governorship election. The Stop Violence Against Women in Politics Stop VAMIT campaign preliminary statement highlights findings and recommendations from the Survivor Service Center in Bayelsa State. Background. When women are active in politics, communities prosper. Women bring new perspective, raise issues that others may overlook and listen to, those that others may ignore. Their full and equal political participation in democratic process, such as election, will bring real benefits to Bayelsa. Currently, women constitute about 424,392, that is in percentage 45.97% of registered voters, yet hold less than 5% of seats in the Bayelsa State House of Assembly. This is considerably low when compared to a minimum quota of 35% for women's political representation. Evidently, women in Bayelsa still face significant barriers to participation in the political arena, including violence targeting them specifically during electoral cycle. The Stop Violence campaign in Nigeria is unique as it seeks to ensure that immediate services are available to protect the safety and rights of VAMIT survivors who may not otherwise have access to the social and legal assistance they need. The campaign also addresses the gender data gap and strengthens the capacity of domestic election observers to recognize, monitor, and mitigate violence in Bayelsa State. Through continued and thoughtful communication and outreach, the Stop Violence Against Women campaign has increased community and public awareness about violence against women. Stop Violence Against Women in Politics is a nationwide initiative supported by the National Democratic Institute, NDI, a non-profit, non-partisan organization that supports and strengthens democratic institutions worldwide through citizen participation, openness, and accountability in governance since 2015. The Stop VAMIT campaign and its various partners like the Girl Child Rights and Empowerment Initiative, DREB, members of the Stop VAMIT Committee, and desk officers at the Ministry of Women Affairs in Bayelsa State have documented incidents of violence against women, raised awareness of VAMIT, and advocated to relevant stakeholders on the need to mitigate Stop VAMIT, and the overall goal is to mitigate violence against women and encourage them to participate actively in politics. Survivor Center. The Stop Violence Against Women in Politics campaign established a center to receive calls from citizens on its Violence Against Women hotline. The center has served as the central location for all operations, including where incidents of violence against women from the hotline are tracked, and crucial support is provided to survivors through collaboration between the security services, National Orientation Agencies, NOA, police, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Federation of Female Lawyers, FIDA, Medical Men Association, and other service providers. The Ministry of Women Affairs will continue to sustain this mechanism after the conduct of 2019 governorship election in Bayelsa State. Hotline. Prior to the election, the hotline received over 50 calls, recording 14 cases of violence against women in the state. GREB and women mobilizers promoted the campaign hotline, which is 080-0000-55555, and the Stop VAMIT campaign's mission. The awareness-raising effort aims to increase women's confidence in the electoral process and to foster women's participation in the elections. Trained hotline operators received the incidents, documented and categorized them. A campaign coordinating committee comprising civil society, security, and government agencies received call logs from the hotline operators, determined the appropriate authority responsible, and referred the incidents to relevant stakeholders for a response. Response procedures. Upon receiving incidents of VAMIT from the PREO, reports by YAGA, NEVA, tracking and vice support VAMIT hotlines, the support VAMIT campaign deployed a system for coordinating service delivery and timely access to service for survivors. The response procedure referred 85.7% of survivors. This entails appropriate authorities received incident reports from the campaign coordinating committee and delivers services, including arresting perpetrators, connecting survivors to health and human services, and providing legal support to survivors. In addition to the Stop VAMIT Action Committee and trained hotline operators, the Stop VAMIT campaign trained about 28 local government coordinators and mobilizers spread across the 8 local governments areas to verify, report, and provide a referral to VAMIT survivors. Election. Ahead of the elections, the Stop VAMIT campaign prepared for the heightened tensions in the state as political actors used hate speeches to intimidate opponents and coerce women to vote in their favor. The Stop VAMIT Service Center emphasized the possibility that women who had faced violence directly or indirectly ahead of the polls may choose not to participate in the election for fear of violence. In this regard, we are calling all electoral stakeholders to ensure that the November 16th Bayelsa governorship elections are more inclusive, participatory, secure, and credible. Preliminary findings. Our reports show that women voters are still facing physical violence, threats to life, coercion, intimidation, and harassment daily. GREP notes an increase in assault in the lead-up to the election. 42.9% of the incidents indicate that women are facing psychological, physical violence in form of assaults, threats, and hate speech. 42.9% of the incidents were reported by the victims themselves or heard through a third-party women trust this mechanism to respond to their issues. 85.7% of cases so far are females. Stop VAMIT committee could only respond to about 85.7% of cases it retrieved. 1. Physical violence. Occasioning harm. A. Women were physically prevented from participating in electioneering activities. B. An inter-party clash around Udeme Hotel in Opolo led to physical attacking women who were residents. C. There are fracas between party supporters and a near-crisis situation at Igbogene EPA after the governorship candidate visited the prominent ruler of EPA Kingdom. Unfortunately, the crisis has affected women's confidence to vote. Some women have decided not to vote. 2. Psychological violence. A. Hate speech that portrays intolerance for increased women participation was reported at Otuan community, Southern Ijaw local government area. B. Women expressed fear to vote after witnessing a violent campaign that included open death threats opposition party supporters. 3. Threats and coercion. Women were asked to step down against their wish for other candidates due to their gender. Recommendations. 1. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is hereby called upon to ensure that the election in all areas are inclusive and participatory for all eligible voters, especially women. 2. Security agents are urged to put measures in place for the protection of the electorate, especially women, and ensure that all perpetrators of violence are apprehended and duly persecuted in order to deter further occurrence. 3. Political parties should commit to promoting peaceful elections by signing a peace accord, adhere to their code of conduct for elections, and checkmate violence against women within their parties. They should also guide party activists to stop perpetrating violence. Conclusion. The Stop Violence Action Committee is committed to awareness raising, advocating for behavioral change, sensitizing citizens on gender-based violence, tracking and responding to cases of gender-based violence, and improving women's political participation in the state. The committee will also continue to encourage women participation in electoral and political processes. For media inquiries, please contact Mrs. Rosemary Owefari at 080-366-77222. Learn more about our Stop VAMIT on Twitter, at Stop VAMIT on Facebook, or visit our website at www.stopvamit.com.
And more. Watch our live feeds online at our website at www.manjalivetv.com. Follow us on our interactive social media handles at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest information and updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay connected to the channel that tells the untold stories.